Good afternoon, everyone. So, anyone want to hear this presentation just to take a seat? My name is DJ, and I have been in crypto industry for about 9 years so far. I founded a couple of different projects, including Qian, VeChain, Fusion, AnySwap. Today it is called Multichain, and now I'm working on change. So first of all, please allow me to do a survey with all of you. Anyone who have heard about a crypto, please do not raise your hand. Okay, everybody knows about it, okay? So anyone who have operated through a kind of decentralized exchange, please raise your hand. Okay, yeah, a lot of people who have operated. It's real complicated, right? So you need to connect it with different wallets, and it connected to different DEX, especially when today, there are a lot of different DEX, famous ones, some unknown one on different chains, right? Uniswap, SushiSwap on Ethereum, PancakeSwap on Binance Smart Chain, BNB chain, and maybe the Trader Joe, Pangolin on Avalanche, a lot of different DEXs on different chains. So when you're operating it, you probably have met some problem, like you need to move assets from chain to chain. And you need to consider how big liquidity is in that DEX. And you need to think about which DEX you need to pick to do the trading, right? So there are a lot of different problems when, so in the last bull run in crypto industry, we have seen the rise of DeFi, decentralized finance, and a lot of people are using the DEX today. But there are a lot of hassle, a problem for all of us to operate that. So today, I'm going to introduce you an ultimate solution, which is change. This is one, I promise you, this is one of the most advanced technology in this industry so far. So before that, I would like to go ahead with the two use cases. The first use case is if you want to swap 20 million USDT into BTC or Ethereum, which exchange would you use? So this is the first use case, first question for you. The second question is, if you had your USDT split on 10 different chains, like Polygon, Arbitrum, Binance Smart Chain, Qian, even Algorand, right? So, and you want to swap them all for BTC or simply move them to another chain. Then what would you do? These two questions. Think about that. So it will take you a lot of time and a lot of efforts moving the tokens, right? So let's focus on the first question, swapping 20 million USDT into BTC. You probably have the first choice. You can use the centralized exchange like Binance or Coinbase or any other centralized exchanges. You need to deposit your assets into that centralized exchange. But you will feel you're probably not allowed to withdraw your money out just within 24 hours, right? You need to wait. You need to go past a lot of KYC process to do so. And not to mention that, there are probably not enough liquidity in one centralized exchange. So, in the second choice, you probably can do it in a decentralized way. Use Uniswap or SushiSwap, something like that. But these trading pair, like USDT versus BTC, they exist on a lot of different DEX, on a lot of different chains. But when you are using one DEX, you can only enjoy the liquidity on that chain, on that single chain. You probably have a big slippage, and you lose money, right? And the next option is you probably can use the DEX aggregator, like 1inch. So a lot of people have heard about 1inch, right? But they are only able to aggregate the liquidity on one chain. So if you have used it, you probably need to select the chain you want to use. And then they only, for example, you can select Ethereum, right? But they can only help you to aggregate the liquidity on that single chain. Let's see what Change Finance is able to do. Change Finance is a cross-chain liquidity aggregator. It is able to aggregate liquidity from all the DEX on all the chains. So think of that question. If you are going to swap USDT into BTC or USDT into Ethereum, you know, there are liquidity also in SushiSwap, Uniswap on Ethereum, but also in PancakeSwap on Binance Smart Chain. So we are able to aggregate all the liquidity. So if you are thinking of each DEX or each chain is a kind of different airlines, we are Expedia. We are able to connect all of those DEX together. As long as you pick the destination token you wanted, then we can find the best route for you, the best chain, and aggregate the best liquidity. So totally, Change Finance has aggregated about 72 billion US dollar value of liquidity totally for users when you are swiping. And even more interesting is that we are able to split your transactions proportionally and execute them on different chains simultaneously. So this is one of the most advanced technology in this industry, which is that, you know, sometimes when you are trying to, just to take this example, like 20 million USDT into BTC, then we can split it maybe 50% executed on Ethereum, aggregating Uniswap plus SushiSwap and other DEX on Ethereum, and another maybe 30% executed on Binance Smart Chain, aggregating PancakeSwap and something else. So this is what we can do. And it will make user feel a lot of easier when they are trying to swap, and they can always have the best price. And that's one of the biggest advantage we have. Just like Expedia, you know, when you pick, okay, I want to fly from San Francisco to New York, maybe I can go through American Airlines, I can go through United Airlines, but always, even the connection flight, take the connection flight into consideration, they can always provide you the best price, right? So this is what we can do for the first question. And the second question, so when you are having USDT roaming, distributed on different chains, 10 different chains. Let's suppose you have some USDT on Qian, some USDT on Binance Smart Chain, some USDT on Ethereum. Now you are going to move it to Solana. Then that would be a nightmare for you. You know, I have to operate, use different wallets, and use different bridges, wait for a very long period of time, waiting for it to be executed. But now here in Change.Finance, what you need to do is very simple, just to send it to a destination address and select the destination chain. That's it. And everything about the cross-chain will be taken care of in the background. And we are supporting non-EVM compatible chains plus EVM compatible chains, totally more than 30 different chains. Very user-friendly, and of course, most of it important, the security. So we are using the Fusion DCRM technology, which guarantees, today there are a lot of cross-chain technologies they are using Fusion DCRM, like AnySwap, Multichain, Phantom Bridge, Nerve Bridge, and total liquidity is more than 4 billion. The liquidity for the cross-chain is more than 4 billion US dollar. So this is the guarantee for the security. So yeah, for the second question, we are able to do that thing. So you probably have heard about a lot of cross-chain, like aggregated DEX aggregators, or some other protocols like cross-chain bridges. So what makes Change Finance different? We are Actually, we are the only aggregator which is able to pull the liquidity from multiple different chains simultaneously. So this is the first thing. And the users, they can go and buy the cryptos directly. Comparing to the centralized exchanges, everybody knows that in a centralized exchange, probably they can only support a very small number of hundreds of tokens, right? For example, Binance, they support very close to 400. For Coinbase, they only support close to 200. FTX, they support maybe a little bit more, like 600. But here, it's totally decentralized. Users, they have their assets on their own wallet, on their own address. But we support tens of thousands of different tokens because we connect all the chains together. And we can access the liquidity from all of those DEX. And one of the key technology we built in the back end is the smart router algorithm. Because we monitor the liquidity on different DEX, on different chains in a real time. And when a user they quote, they want to get a quotation for a kind of swap, then in the background, in the back end, our smart router algorithm is able to calculate what kind of portion is to be executed on which chain, and we can help user to deploy that number of token A, I mean the original token, onto that chain and execute them on that chain, aggregating the different DEX. So this makes this makes a lot of users they feel okay. This is the one of the biggest advantage in our application. Allow users to trade any tokens into another token with the best price. Okay, so here I would like to correct one misconception maybe existing for a very long time in this industry, which is the multi-chain versus cross-chain. You probably have heard about multi-chain or cross-chain aggregator, but none of them, they are able to aggregate the liquidity across different chains. Usually, they just help you to swap token using the DEX, and then post the swap, they help you to move your assets onto another chain using the bridge. But here, what we can do is totally different. So in my opinion, the future of cross-chain is that you don't have to care on which chain your assets are on, and you don't even need to have a concept of a chain. Users only need to care about the asset itself. How many USDT you have, how many BTC you have. This is my ultimate goal for the cross-chain. And the bottom line, absolutely, you can do it by yourself. You can use MetaMask or other wallets to move through the bridge, or connect it to different DAX. You use different wallets, but ultimately, we are able to manage your. It's a non-custodial method to help you to manage your private key to sign the transactions simultaneously on different chains and trying to swipe your token. And here, one of the things I want to highlight is that if we are thinking of the centralized exchange, probably we will think about the biggest ones are like Binance or FTX. They probably have the biggest liquidity in this world for the centralized exchange. But if you are thinking of the decentralized exchange, 72 billion, it's probably 10 times more than what they can do. So now, I think it's a right time to let all the users or let all the developers know that our APIs and SDKs are also ready for the developers to integrate in their protocol, maybe in a wallet, maybe in another loan protocol or some other protocol, and it's open for everyone to use. You don't necessarily need to use our application, but you can use our web service using the MetaMask wallet, or connect to your hot wallet, hardware code wallet in behind, or you can use the SDK and API to do so. So I think what we need to do together is that stop doing anything related to the long time-consuming cross-chain deals, or you need to wait for the transactions to be executed on different chains and find your liquidity by yourself, the most liquid trading pair for by yourself. So just to use our protocol, we can help you to find the best price when you are swapping. Okay, that's all I want to share today. I just want to make it short and but very solid and concrete. If you have any questions, I just write down there at the booth 22. I would like to hear your, maybe you have some questions or you want to know more about our technology. I will be there. Thank you so much.